Welcome, everybody, to the Redzone Report, brought to you live now by Picasso's Pizza, right there in Buffalo. I don't live there, but when I go to Picasso's. Everybody, enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Red Zone Report right here on Built-in Buffalo, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or maybe not Twitter, maybe X. Maybe you're on that train. I'm on the X train, so let's do it. We are here to discuss the results of the NFL Combine and who it may have helped and or hurt. And I got some comments already. My man Chris was in the building at 5:18. The show's at 7. My man's in here early. Let me know how much he loves the show. Thank you very much, Chris. Go Bills, go Sabres. And Sandra L. King, let's go Buffalo. You right. Let's go, girl. And John Herring, what's up, fellow veteran fam? Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad to have you here, my fellow brother in arms. Let's do it. But yeah, look, the NFL Combine yesterday and the last few days, and even today, it was offensive lineman. So for us, it's not that big a deal because if we draft an offensive lineman, it'll likely be late in the draft. Some of these players went out and put on a show, and a good deal of these players are potential targets for the Buffalo Bills. Some people stock went up, some people stock went down, and some people's stock stood right about where it was the whole time. They did exactly what we expected them to do, but there was some unexpected things that happened, and we're going to discuss the Combine as much as I can. And I have the position groups that I intend to discuss already pulled up. And so the 4 position groups I'm here to discuss are the wide receivers, the safeties, the defensive tackles, and the defensive ends. These are the 4 potential positions that the Buffalo Bills are going to be, pursuing in the draft. Now, who falls to us? At this point, no one freaking knows because some of these receivers were out there doing their thing. Well, yesterday, anybody who watches the NFL or is interested in the draft or even if they're into college and just want to see their man off to the pros and, pay attention to their journey, Xavier Worthy went out there and he set a new record in the 40-yard dash. My man Roy Collins dropped it in the comments. He dropped a new combine record with a 4.21 second 40-yard dash. Previous record held by John Ross, who we all know did not have a very good NFL career. Before him, it was held by CJ2K Chris Johnson, 2,000-yard in a season running back for the Tennessee Titans in the early 2010s or late 2000s. So shout out to him. He had a pretty solid career. It didn't last as long as we'd all like, for a player of that caliber to last, but it is what it is. But Xavier Worthy at, what is this man's size? I'm gonna pull it up because I already have a link here. Draft profile brought to you by NFL Draft Buzz. 5'11", 170 pounds. He's from University of Texas and hometown of Fresno, California. The man put up a 4.21 40-yard dash. Now, in college, he was a pretty good player. He was the number 2 receiver on his team behind Adonai Mitchell, who also put up a very, very good 40 time of 4.35. Receptions, this kid had 75 catches in 12 games. 1,014 yards, 5 receiving touchdowns, and averaged 13.5 yards per carry to Xavier Worthy. That is amazing. That is amazing. The kid is going to increase his draft stock by quite a bit because I had him as a third-round pick. Maybe late second, but probably a third-round pick. He might find himself mid-second round to the late second round, maybe into the early third. But I see him now as a second-round pick. That 40 time may not, be something that is going to determine his career, but general managers are watching. They are watching. And when they see something like that, you get guys like Henry Ruggs, who was a mid to late first-round pick, and then all of a sudden, he's the number one receiver coming off the board because he runs a 4.27. Like that's craziness. And so these combine scores will vault a player higher up in the draft. And so going from maybe a third-round pick to probably a second-round pick, Xavier Worthy is going to have some buzz. It's going up. It's going up. And his teammate in college at Texas, Adonai Mitchell, was the third fastest wide receiver who ran a 4.34. A 4.34. His unofficial time was 4.35, but he ran a 4.34 officially. And just ahead of him is another guy that's been on Bills fans' radar, Brian Thomas Jr. with a 4.33. Those high numbers in the 40-yard time, high grades, very low numbers, 4.33, 4.34, 4.21, are going to shoot these guys up the draft board. Another guy who had a very good 40 time, and we weren't sure whether this guy was going to be a fourth-round pick or a third-round pick, is Tez Walker from UNC. Now, he was projected to have a good year. His year didn't start off great because his status with the NCAA was up in the air. Eventually, he got on the field, helped Drake May do what they did, and Tez Walker is a solid wide receiver. But I had him in the early fourth, late third round pick. So late day 2, early day 3. He might be an early third round pick now. He might have projected himself up a little higher now. Good wide receiver, very good, but had some questions coming in, and yeah, that time is going to help him out quite a bit. It's going to help him out quite a bit. Now, there are some guys at wide receiver whose draft stock probably stayed about the same. Roman Wilson from Michigan, Jacob Cowing from Arizona, Ladd McConkey from Georgia. These guys were all expected to run fast, and they all had first, second round grades on them anyway. Ladd McConkey, late first, early second. Roman Wilson, second round grade. Xavier Legette had a second round grade on him. He may have helped his draft stock. As big as that boy is right there, running a 4.39 40-yard dash. Wow. And then Troy Franklin, another guy that we've been looking at too, at 28. A lot of Bills fans are Troy Franklin or bust, right? 4.41. That is a very, very good time. And then second round perceived draft pick, Ricky Pearsall. So if you can't get any of your guys in the first round, in the second round, there are still guys out there. Ricky Pearsall from Florida, 4.41. There's talent out there. There's talent out there, and a lot of it has now bumped itself up because of their 40 time alone, right? Nobody's watching wide receivers to watch the bench press or the shuttle. No. They're watching it for the 40, right? Everything else is tape. Route running, that's on tape, right? Can he catch the ball, at a high point? That's on tape. Catching with your hands, that's on tape. Footwork, that's on tape. No one's going to the combine looking for that for wide receivers. We want to know how fast these boys are. Xavier Worthy went out there and showed he's that fast. My only concern with him is that he's a small receiver. He's a very small receiver. And so, with that being said, I still wouldn't draft him in the first round. I wouldn't draft him in the second round. Well, no, yeah, I would. At our pick, I would because it's late, right? Or like the second to last pick in the second round, or fourth to last pick in the second round. Something like pick 60. Yeah, I probably would draft him second round if we needed to, and if no one else was there. But he's not one of my top guys. Like I like him, but he's not one of my top guys. But that 40 time is going to vault him up, and I think some team may overdraft him. but you know what? That's going to increase his money, so I'm not going to be mad that he went out there and earned it. You know, he put in the work, and then he went out there. He ran a 4.25, and then everybody's like, "Well, that's it. He's good. He's the fastest guy in the draft this year." He's like, "Nope, hold my beer. Fastest guy ever. So good on Worthy. My receivers that I like, and Keon Coleman's 40 time at 4.62 or 4.61 hurt him a little bit, but I think we all expected that. He's not really a separator, but he doesn't really have to be because he snatches the ball, right? Like you can't get between him and the football. Like he's a big dude. But one of the guys I'm looking at, if Troy Franklin isn't there in the first round, if Adonai Mitchell is not there in the first round, Xavier Legette in the second round, even if you have to jump up to go get him, there's going to be a run on receivers in both first and second rounds. Xavier Legette, Ricky Pearsall, those are guys I like in the second round. First round, Troy Franklin, Brian Thomas Jr., but I don't know if they're going to be there now. But you have A.D. Mitchell, who went out there and blew the doors off that 40-yard dash. So those are guys who are moving up and down. I think Keon Coleman moved himself down a little bit. But the rest of those guys, they basically moved up. They moved up. Another guy that moved down, and I'm not covering the position, is running back. Audric Estime. Audric Estime from Notre Dame. I had a lot of hope for him, and he ran a 4.72. Both times. Ran it twice, 4.72. It's just, I really liked him as a prospect, but there was another prospect I liked, that running back, who really seems to have helped their draft buzz, and that's Garendo out of Louisville, I think, running back. Garendo had a wonderful day. Formerly Wisconsin. Running that 4.33. Not mad at it at all. Let me just verify that was his official time. Isaac Garendo. There we go. 4.3340. Other guys at running back that really helped their status. Keelan Robinson from Texas ran a 4.42. Excellent time. Excellent time. The receivers this year were just blazing, though. They were just blazing, though. Xavier Worthy, 4.21. Brian Thomas, 4.33. Adonai Mitchell, 4.34. Tez Walker, 4.36. Jacob Cowan, 4.38. Roman Wilson, 4.39. Lad McConkey, 4.39. Anthony Gold, 4.39. Xavier Legette, 4.39. Troy Franklin, 4.41. Like, you gotta go like 20 deep before you hit 4.5. That's Brendan Rice. And a 4.5 flat isn't a bad time either. It's not a bad time either. Johnny Wilson, Jalen Polk, Javon Walker, Jalen Coker, all running in the 4.5s, and then Keon Coleman is the first and second slowest guy in this draft class at 4.61. Only one slower than him was Isaiah Williams from Illinois. This draft class is loaded with fast receivers. Loaded with fast receivers. Corbin is getting projected in later rounds. Yeah, I think Corbin, they said, is like a 4th round pick or potentially he's between late 3rd and early 5th. That's what the projection is. So I just say a 4th round pick. Wouldn't mind Ray Davis. I love Ray Davis as a prospect. I love the game he had against Florida. Ray Davis to me is a home run. I really do like Ray Davis. I agree with you there. And his 40 time wasn't too bad either. I think that Ray Davis, he went out there and did his thing. I think it was a 4.5 something. 4.52. It's an excellent time for a running back, especially one with size like him. So, I love me some Ray Davis. But, man, those wide receivers this year, like, there's so many fast receivers that to just look at the speed alone and assume that that's going to help them really that much is a reach, I think, in my opinion, because so many fast guys. 4.21 is extra fast, but everybody else ran in the 4.4s. So, but I do think it helped him. Someone is going to pull an Al Davis, an Oakland Raiders, and draft him early. I just have that feeling, and it'll be a reach, and it could be a detriment to his career too, because if you go too early, you get paid more, which I mentioned earlier. I'm not trying to look in his pockets, but you're expected to do more sooner, so that could be a detriment to his career. Now, moving on from the wide receivers, because man, they are fast. Looking at safeties, right? And I already saw a comment. It said Kinchins and Leggett, rounds 1 and 2. Kind of my dream. Justin Calhoun. Justin, I like the players. I don't like the rounds. Right? I don't have a first round safety this year. I don't. Not in the entire draft for any team. I don't have a first round grade on a safety. I have second round grades on safeties and third round grades on safeties, and that's the earliest I would go this year. Now, so this year, no safeties round 1. That's my opinion. That's where I'm at. That's how I feel. I would very, very well be dreaming if the Buffalo Bills got Troy Franklin and then they went and got Kinchins, or if they went and got in the third or fourth round, Kalen Bullock is my guy from USC. Kalen Bullock is my guy at safety. So now we're going to take a look at some of these safety times, right? The fastest safety was Dadrion Taylor Demerson from Texas Tech at 4.41. I'm not worried so much about them running a 4.41 at safety, right? 4.6 is fine at safety. That's what Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are, and they've been excellent throughout their careers. They're starting to slow down now, but not so much worried about speed. Is it a factor? Yes, but is it a big factor at safety? Not so much. So Millard Bradford is another guy who ran really fast, but against safety, not such a big deal. Jalen Simpson from Auburn, he ran pretty well. Let me go ahead and take a look at the big board here at Mock Draft Buzz or NFL Draft Buzz and look at safeties. Where are they? DBs. Not looking for DBs, looking for safeties. NFL Draft Buzz open. Position rankings, 2024. Dang it. Come on now. Defensive back. Safeties only. So Tyler Nubin is number 1 rated. Javon Bullard, Jaden Hicks, Kalen Bullock is the 4th highest safety on their books. 4th highest safety on their books. Played in the AC in the Pac-10, Pac-12, excuse me. Rating was 78 out of 100. Coverage rating was a 91. Zone and man were right around 85. He's my guy. He's not as much of a run defender, though. So he's going to be more like that Micah Hyde guy, which is what we're looking for right now anyway, right? So if you have Jordan Poyer on the roster and you can get this guy in the 3rd round or so, I'm all for it. I really like this kid. Let me see where he's at on here. Javon Bullard, Kalen Bullock. Ran a 4.48, which is excellent for safeties. Let's see if they have a comp for him now. Because they did not before. 4.48. Nope, we're not doing that audio. They don't have a round projection yet, but man, I really like that kid, Kalen Bullock. Robbie's in the house. Go Sabres, go Bills. Heck yeah. They may got a free agency, got a safety and free agency as well. I agree. There could be a safety and free agent. And that could also be a wide receiver case too. Like if someone comes to Buffalo on a deal that is something that Brandon Beane can agree to, then yeah. But yeah. So is Tavondre Sweat a first rounder? He might be now. Tavondre Sweat might be now. We'll discuss defensive tackles in a little bit. So bring this one back to me, all right? But Kalen Bullock, outstanding on safety. Excuse me, guys. I gotta grab a tissue real quick. I held on for long enough. I'm sorry. My nose was just, they had enough. But yeah, this safety class is loaded. And I don't think the 40s really helped many of them. You know, maybe some of the guys who weren't ranked so high, like the Dadrion Taylor Demerson and Millard Bradford, maybe they get another look. Maybe they get a look later in the draft as they were positioned as a special teamer, and being able to run that fast will help you as a special teamer. But the main guys, the Kalen Bullocks, the Javon Bullards, the Tyler Nubins, you know, the big five, they're not moving anywhere. They're not moving anywhere. So when you look at Tyler Nubin, Javon Bullard, Jaden Hicks from West Wildcats. Now I'm suffering to see what school it is. Washington State. All right, Washington State. Kalen Bullock, Cameron Kitchens from University of Miami. Dadrian Taylor is apparently the 6th rated safety, so he might have actually pushed his stock up. But those top 5 guys aren't going anywhere. Those are the top 5 guys for a reason. Now, Kim, I agree. No first-round safeties. Hey, is what it is, man. That's just how I see it. Just how I see it. John Herring, not sure about that. I think 5 will go before our pick. That leaves more of the project wide receivers remaining. Are you saying the Bills need to not overcomplicate this? They're literally going to be like 5 good wide receivers where we draft at 28. 8, take 1. Okay, and 5 to 6. So if 5 or 6 go before the Bills, right? You're talking Marvin Harrison Jr. You're talking about Neighbors, Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., and that means you think that Troy Franklin's going to go before we go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, because I think the quarterbacks are really going to be coveted. If you saw those quarterbacks slinging it yesterday, Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr., they may have jumped into that first round. They may have found themselves in the first round. So, yeah, I think that we'll get one of the top 6 guys. And if you're looking at wide receivers, top 6. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Troy Franklin, Ladd McConkey. I think Adonai Mitchell at 28, I would be happy to accept. I would be very happy if the Bills went and they drafted Adonai Mitchell at 28. I like Adonai Mitchell a lot. My first choice would be Troy Franklin or Brian Thomas Jr., but Adonai Mitchell is very, very, very acceptable at 28. Like, if we get him at 28, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. So, very happy with that. The top 6 can go before him, and if Adonai Mitchell's still there, great. Now, the safety position, not as worried about it, but it's an issue. As of right now, it is. But those top 5 guys, their stock has not gone up nor down. They are locked in. They did what they were supposed to do at the draft combine, and they are where they are. Now, defensive tackles is where it gets interesting, right? Because 40 time doesn't matter as much, but their 10-yard split does, right? How fast do these guys get up the field? What's their burst off the line, right? And Mekhi Wingo of LSU blew the doors off this thing of all off tackles, along with Rook Ororo from Clemson at 164 for Wingo and 167 for Ororo. Braden Fisk from Florida State, another guy, 168. Byron Murphy from Texas, though, to me, he's the 1 or 2, right? He's the first or second best defensive tackle in this draft class. 169, not a slouch at all. At 309, 310 pounds, that big boy can move. But he also was on the team with T'Vondre Sweat. You want to make sure you're drafting the right guy, right? But they're different players. Byron Murphy's more of a 3 technique. T'Vondre Sweat is obviously a 1 tech. He's 360 pounds. So that man is Byron Murphy. You draft if you're in the top 15 and you just need a guy to go out there and try and play like a Ed Oliver or I'm forgetting the man's name in LA with the Rams. He's the best defensive tackle in the last 10 years. Aaron Donald. Byron Murphy is that type of player. Maybe more like a Chris Jones, though, because of the size, right? He's not like Ed Oliver or Aaron Donald size-wise, but more like a Chris Jones. All right. So I think that Byron Murphy may have jumped himself from like 10 to 15. He may be from five to 10 now, in that 5 to 10 range. He may be jumping up in there. Problem is those wide receivers are going to be needed, but you got teams in there who most likely are rebuilding, and they're going to be looking for best player available. There's a couple of defensive tackles in this draft class that will fit that bill. There's not a lot of them, so they're going to go early. Defensive tackles are going to go early. Gotta love brain farts, dude. Brain farts are the worst. They even hurt a little bit. My bad, dude. Look, I was eating Thai food earlier, and when I was eating like a piece of rice with that freaking curry just shot up in here, it's been killing me. But I'll be all right. The Bills did interview Murphy. Yeah, everybody should have interviewed Murphy. He's that damn good. But some teams aren't going to need him, and they'll take whatever other position need they have. I would be fine with Leggett. I like Leggett in the second round. But I got to see what the projections are going to look like now after that 40 time. That 40 time was nasty. So he could be a first-round pick now. Sweat is a big boy at 366. Yeah, he is. If the Bills are going to draft a defensive tackle in the first round, I would take T'Vondre Sweat. That's where I would go. He's an early second-round pick in my book already. And if you're at 28, just pull the freaking trigger and get your guy. You bring back Daquan Jones, you go get a T'Vondre Sweat, and all of a sudden now you have 2 1-techs. You can plug and play and have those guys, for now, and Daquan Jones, and in the future be T'Vondre Sweat. That is a beautiful thing to have. Now, back to defensive tackles. Not a ton of them this year. I think that guys like Dwayne Carter from Duke has helped his draft stock, running a 1.72 10-yard split. Mason Smith from LSU, he also increased his stock in my book with that 1.75 10-yard split. We had some quick splits, but when you get to the bottom here, Miles Murphy from North Carolina, he didn't do a lot to help himself. He was already looking 4th or 5th round pick. He might drop to the 6th or 7th round after this because that 1.82 is just not fast enough. And then Zion Logue from Georgia, I know he played at Georgia, and they're awesome, but yeah. And then Justin Eboigi, I'm not gonna mess his name up again. Justin E from Alabama, 180. T'Vondre Sweat. He also had a 180 10-yard split, but at 366 pounds, that is moving. That's moving. My buddy was telling me the comparison with T'Vondre Sweat running the 40 time he ran and the 10-yard split time he ran. If he was a cornerback size, that's comparable to running like a 4.26. That's crazy. I'm going to be doing a mock draft after this discussion because I don't have a whole lot to say because there's, I can only look at the players that I really was paying attention to because that's a lot of players to digest. So the ones that stick out in my mind are the ones I'm going over right now. And if you guys have somebody and I have something that I got to say about them, I'll say it. Like I was looking at the quarterbacks, you can't help it because they're thrown to the wide receivers. Michael Penix Jr. laid every single pass cleanly into the hands of the receivers. Every single pass he threw was perfect. Now, I know they're in shorts, but I don't care because there were guys out there in shorts as well who weren't throwing perfect passes. Michael Penix Jr. was. It was beautiful. And yes, they're going to want him to get down to about 246, maybe 250, which is about 346, 350. Which is about the weight of Sam Adams. I don't know if you guys remember Sam Adams rumbling, bumbling, stumbling into the end zone off an interception. I think it was of Tom Brady. Got that mute for you, baby. Let's go. But yeah, his playing weight can't be 266 in the NFL. He's not going to be fast enough. He's going to have to lose a little weight, which is why I think the Bills should snag him up, because then you have a backup for Daquan Jones in the making. Like, remember when we drafted AJ Epinesa? He came in too big for us. Like, he was just too heavy for what we do. It was like 280, 275, and they were like too much. You know, he tried to drop weight, and he dropped way too much weight. It was too small. And then you look back up. He finally got there in year 3. That's where Devondre Sweat's going to have to get his stuff right. He's going to have to get his weight to where an NFL team is going to want him, so he can have a little more speed in the burst off the line. So I say like 350, 345 is going to be his ideal playing weight, most likely in the NFL.
I think it might be a stamina thing, though.
So yeah,
at that big.
My buddy here is a big Texas fan, and he gets deep into Texas players, so I got a lot of information on them. All right, Darius Robinson can play defensive tackle or defensive end. He did in college. Darius Robinson is fine, but he might be too small for what we're looking for. You know, like we're a true 4-3, 4-2-5 in base usually, but our base formation theoretically is a 4-3. So you may look at him and covet that player. Maybe he's that good. Let me go ahead and see if I can find him in here. Darius Robinson. See if where they have him listed. Darius Robinson, not as a defensive tackle, so as defensive end. Darius. You're not talking about Chop Robinson, are you? Like if that's no, Darius Robinson. There we go. University of Missouri. Darius Robinson. Putting up his profile now. 6'5", 285 pounds. That is a big, tall dude, but he's lean. So I'd keep him at defensive end if I was to draft him. That reminds me of like Mario Williams type size. Talking like 6'5", 285. That's a defensive end. That's an end all day, every day, in my opinion. There we go. Watching Sam Adams trying to give the ball up to another player while running down the sidelines was hilarious. And the players was like, hell no, it's yours. Hey, dude, that man was too big. He thought his heart was going to burst out of his chest, man. That's a big dude to be running like that. But, yeah, man, like that's craziness. That's crazy to see him scoring on a pick six, man. I love me some Sam Adams tape, though. Sam Adams was that guy. But now we're on the edge rushers. And, look, the guys at the top really just kind of confirmed what they were doing. Chop Robinson running a 4.48 at his size is stupid. That is crazy stupid. Like 4.48? 4.48 at what? 260, 255? Coming out of Penn State, 6'3". That boy is big. He has no business running that freaking fast. 10-yard split was a 1.54. That's ridiculous. He had a 4.25 20-yard shuttle. Like a 34.5-inch vertical. Like Chop Robinson, if the receiver the Bills want is not there, draft me some Chop Robinson. I don't mind getting receiver in the second round. And I don't mind waiting till round 3 or 4 for my safety. But I want the best player available at one of those spots of need, and defensive end is clearly one of them, and we all know it. You know, Von Miller and Rousseau being the only guys left on the roster at defensive end, other than Kingsley Jonathan. Yeah. Give me a defensive end. Opinion on Fisk. Give me a position for Fisk because I got to pull it up. Yeah, I need you to give me a position in school if you can, Roy. I see your question, but I remember looking at him. I don't have extensive knowledge of him though. Defensive tackle, defensive end. Okay. Fisk. Okay. There we go. Braden Fisk. Well, I did some research on this guy a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he's a big boy, 292. He's huge though. He's big, but he's not huge. Let me make sure this setting is turned on because that's really annoying. It is. Okay, good. Yeah, Braden Fisk is a big boy. Production score in college 77, athletic score 87. Wow. Okay. Ran a 4.78 as a defensive tackle. Wow. Okay.
He's got 30-inch arms.
Yeah. 26 on the bench, 33.5-inch vertical. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some more research, but I like what I'm seeing there. Let me go ahead and see where he's rated by NFL Draft Buzz. They're usually my go-tos. PFF I go to for player grades, but for like combine stuff and draft location, I'm going with these guys. Defensive tackles only. Let's go. They have Braden Fisk as their. Well, he's down the line.
It's because of his arms.
He's got short arms. Okay. I don't even see him here. He might be listed as a defensive end, which is weird. Unless he's a 4-3 or 3-4 end. Defensive ends only. Oh, there we go. Chop Robinson, Brendan Trice, Brandon Dorian, Thomas. It's a lot of defensive ends here. McGregor. Let's see. Nope. I'm not seeing him anywhere on this website. So I'm going to have to do my own research on him. So give me time and I will look. I really like Sweat and have Sweat learn behind Daquan. I agree. All right, so defensive tackles or defensive ends, excuse me. Dallas Turner with the 4.46, that helped him tremendously. He was like the third or fourth rated defensive end in this draft class anyway. Chop Robinson was right in that same area, between 3 and 5. Chop Robinson may have projected himself up higher in that defensive end room. He might be the number 2. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get him at 28. But if he's there, they better run to the podium. Right? If you have 2 or 3 receivers left on the board that are first-round grades and you're at 28, that means some of those number 2 guys, those second-round guys, are going to be there later. The Ricky Pearsons of the world, the Xavier Legettes of the world, the Keon Colemans. Those guys are going to be there at the end of the second round. So you're going to go after the guy who's definitely not going to have anybody close to his talent level. You're going to take him in that first round. And so Chop Robinson falls to 28. You take Chop Robinson. No questions asked, just how it is. And so I'm all for that. I like Chop Robinson. He helped his draft stock tremendously. Now, guys whose draft stock may have dropped a little bit, Leatu Latu, he was like the highest rated defensive end, but he's got some injury stuff. However, 4.64, not mad at it. 4.64 is not bad. But Chop Robinson, being as fast as he is, pushes him down. Miles Cole from Texas Tech. I think that he's in the middle of the pack, and he really didn't hurt or help his stock. He's where exactly he's supposed to be. Chris Braswell from Alabama, though. The other both Alabama defensive ends really helped their stock, especially Braswell because he's a bigger guy, running a 4.6. I like him too. If he's the pick at 28, I wouldn't be mad either, but he wouldn't be like my choice of defensive ends. I'm just hoping that my choice of defensive end, defensive tackle, or wide receiver is there. If they're not, I know Brandon Bean is the type to try and trade up, but this might be the time that he decides to trade back. And that's just where I stand on that, guys. So that is my discussion on moving players up and down based on their combine. Again, didn't get through too many guys because the combine just happened, and I'm sure there's going to be more time for me to cover once I get a little more research done with the actual draft analysts who are online and giving the projections. Once I can do some reading and get some more tape watched, which, again, the tape is the tape. That's really going to be the number one thing you look at. These numbers just kind of push them either up or down, sometimes by a lot, sometimes by a little. Again, I'll touch on Xavier Worthy. 4.21 is impressive. It's amazing. But with how fast these wide receivers ran this year, I think it helped him, but I don't think it helped him that much. But somebody early in the first round might be like, no, you don't ignore that speed and take him. And I'm looking at you, Raiders. Look at you. That's what the Raiders do. They've done it over and over again. Was it Darius Hayward-Bay and then Henry Ruggs the third? And they keep taking these fast guys, and oftentimes they can't even catch. Luckily, Xavier Worthy can catch, but he does have, some hands. But at that speed, if he gets an open field, you are in trouble. So I just hope it's not the Chiefs. I just hope it's not the Chiefs because, yeah, that's a problem. Like they had Tyreek Hill, and that would be just a replacement for him. Not as strong though. Tyreek's a little running back basically at wide receiver doing that thing. Now we're gonna go ahead and do a mock draft simulation, guys. All right, let's keep the show right at about an hour. And I'm going to close some of these windows, and it's just going to be the mock draft simulator at NFL Draft Buzz. Usually I use PFFs, but I don't think it's as accurate. This one actually has different ratings. Like you have different systems in which you can rate the players and trade value. So like if I go back NFL Draft Buzz, draft simulator, you have your trade value chart, right? Your standard Jimmy Johnson, Fitzgerald, Spielberger, Rich Hill. I'm using the standard Jimmy Johnson. That's the way it is. And we're going to do a 7-round Buffalo Bills mock draft. And it's going to be 25 seconds between. No, I'm not doing that. I'm just going warp speed. We ain't got time to sit here and wait. And I'm going to share that screen. Boom. There it is. And we're going to take off these little side panels. And here we go. So we're doing 7 rounds at warp speed. Randomness is set to 2. Trades are on. And we're using the Jimmy Johnson standard trade value chart. We have the Bills, and we are entering the draft. Number 1 player on the board is Marvin Harrison Jr., followed by Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, then Drake May, Brock Bowers, Jaden Daniels. Those are your top 7 guys. The last 3 to round the top 10 are Olumuyiwa, Fashanu, and Romadunze, and Layatu Latu. And then the best defensive lineman on the board is Jerzon Newton, or Johnny Newton, as he likes to be called now. That one with Worthy, or not Worthy, from Texas. What's his name?
Sweat.
No, the other one.
Murphy.
I think he might be the number 1 defensive tackle, but that's just me. That's my opinion.
I mean, he won that award in college.
Fair enough.
And the other one won Defensive Lineman of the Year, and one of them won the other Lineman Award. So,
I love you, but you got some bias too, though.
no, it's true.
I know they won the awards. I'm saying that doesn't mean crap. Not the draft, at least. They're looking for different stuff. Uh-oh. All right, Hill. Draft is started, and the Bills have 4 trade offers already. Pick 19, round 3, and pick 16 in round 6. And next year's first round pick, no, thank you. Cowboys, pick 24, round 3, pick 37, round 5. Next year's first, next year's no. Not trying to move to next year's draft. The Chiefs want to move up with us. They're going to give us a 3rd, a 6th, or 5th. No, we're good. And then the Steelers, 3rd and a 3rd. First next year, nope. So we are going to reject all these offers. Thank you very much. And we are going to take our guy, whoever it may be. So our first pick, number 28 overall in this NFL draft, we have at wide receiver, Troy Franklin on the board right here, followed by Lama Conkey and Adonai Mitchell. Franklin is my guy. Let's look at the other positions first, though. Defensive line, Darius Robinson is there. T'Vondre Sweat is there. T'Vondre Sweat has the rank of 48. We're probably not going to get him at 48 because we don't have that pick. Maybe we try. Let's see. Let's make a trade real quick. I'm going to trade 60 159. And next year's 4th. Oop, dang it. And at 40, it's, I think, the Bengals. 49. Nope. Let's see. Broncos, 76. No, they don't have anything to trade. Look at this here. Eighth overall is the Falcons, I think. Let me see. 42. This is good enough right here. 42. I'm offering a 2nd, a 5th, and next year's 4th. Yep. Trade accepted. All right. So now I have a pick where I can get the defensive tackle I want too. I'm rejecting all these. I don't want Quandre Diggs. Taking our guy, wide receiver, Troy Franklin. We got our guy. See, these guys are offering us a cornerback. Don't need a corner. They want our 2nd round pick. They're going to give us. Oh, they're going to give us back our 2nd round pick. They want 42 back. No, thank you. I just traded that. What silly crap is that? Defensive line. Now I'm taking Devondre Sweat. Chiefs. They want our number 99 pick. They're going to give us a 3rd next year and a 7th next year. Nope. Next offer. Nope. Next offer. Next offer. Reject all those. Bye. Who we have on the edge? Javon Solomon, Mohamed Kamara. Not liking any of these guys I'm seeing right here. Safety. Safety from Utah. Cole Bishop. 110. Quarterback Cam Hart. Nope. Let's see. Javon Baker's there. Bucky Irving. Trey Benson. Bucky Irving. Let's see his profile. I'm not looking at the chat, guys. Let's see. Brian Thomas in the 1st round. First trade up to get him. I don't want Troy Franklin after watching him yesterday. I absolutely still want Troy Franklin. But I might do a 2nd one and look at your guys' stuff here, right? So don't take it personal. Take it personal. This was just mine, and then we'll do one together. All right, Bucky Irving, running back. He is, I'm looking for his size. There he is, 192, too small. I'm looking for a big boy to help out with our running back room. Troy Benson, Florida State, 216, 6 foot, 900 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 14 rushing TDs. This guy might be the guy right here. We'll see. Running back. Estimate can kick rocks. Yeah, I'm taking the. Yep, Trey Benson's the guy. Drafting him. See.
So remember all that.
We didn't do either one in this one. We didn't move at all. Yep. The next one we might do some trades. Am I being quiet? Like it's nope, I'm not muted. Okay, just making sure. All right, 4th round. 129. Defensive backs. Josh Newton. Bo Braid, rated at 139. May trade back from here. Edge rushers. 130, Muhammad Kamara. Let's take a look at him. 6'1", 248. 13 sacks for the Colorado State Rams. Forced fumbles 2, tackles 56. They're at a 4.57 40. Seems all very acceptable. Tackling was a 54 though. Ooh. Ooh, okay. All players, let's see. Offensive tackle, Javon Foster. Offensive tackle, corner, Jamar Thrash, Ben Pinot, Muhammad Kamara. Ina Smith. Johnny Wilson, wide receiver, Florida State. Charles Smith Wade. There's a lot of corners right now. A lot of corners right now. Let's see. Let's make a trade to move back. We're going to give up 129. And behind us, we'll look at the Patriots. Because they need corners. And we'll move back to 136 and 129. Here we go. 229. So move back a little bit, get an extra 7th round pick. And now on the board.
So it's a nice running back pick.
Yeah. All right, Muhammad Kamara. It's a 4th round pick. We're doing it. Let's see. I took Sweat in the 2nd round at number 42. So at 42, I took Sweat. Stop at. All right. So 162, Bills on the board. We've got safety Malik Mustafa, who I do like. He's ranked number 153. We're at 162, pulling the trigger on the safety now. Boom. We now have a safety. Next pick. They're offering 7th round pick and next year's 6th. No. Well, this is a 6th rounder. 55, 108. Now we ain't moving that far back. These guys are offering. Nope, not moving that far back. Not moving that far back. Sorry, guys. Rejecting all of your stuff. So we still have 3 6th round picks and 2 7ths to go. Now we can do basically BPA. Needs are basically covered. We got a safety, edge rusher, running back, defensive tackle, and wide receiver. So, you know how Brandon Bean loves his late round corners. Let's look at some sizes here. Dwight McGlothern from Arkansas, 6'2", 185, ran a 4.47. It's about the same time as Christian Benford. His tackling an 84, run defense 78, coverage at 90. I think I'm going to go with this guy right here. Best player available. We are now at our next pick. They want to, for 202, they want us to move back 15 spots, and they're going to give us 2 6th round picks. And so I am going to accept that trade unless there's a better one. There's apparently not there. Nope. Nope. Accepting that trade, get 2 6th round picks. Linebackers are definitely in my mind. You're reading my brain right now, buddy. So we are good at the linebacker position right now with Milano. We still have Terrell Bernard. We have Dorian Williams, who just drafted. We have Balen Spector, but after that, we don't have anybody. Tyrell Dawson's a free agent. He's probably going to command more money than we can give him. Tyler Matakevich is probably out the door because, sorry, but that ship has sailed, although I wouldn't be mad at bringing him back at a veteran minimum to play special teams. But I think that most are done with that. So, yeah, linebacker is still on the board for me, especially late in the draft. The 6th round pick, like, who cares? So we've got Jaquan Jackson, the wide receiver at Tulane, and I wouldn't be mad at the Bills doubling up at wide receiver. He's 5'9", 188. He ran a 4.42, so that's a nice little guy to bring in to potentially be a slot behind Khalil Shakir. He had 26 receptions for 439 yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. Is that Tulane? Yep, Tulane. Hands. Oh, yeah. Got a little bit of the dropsies. Next guy. We got Kendall Milton. I wouldn't be mad at taking 2 running backs. He played at Georgia, 6'2", 225, 790 rushing yards, rushing average of 6.5 and 14 touchdowns. Woo! That's a big boy right there. I like that. Rushing, 88. Breaking tackles, 87. Receiving hands, 57. So not much of a receiver. You're going to see him at the goal line, baby. Pass blocking, 71. Run blocking, 42. Yeah, we're going to do that right there. I like that. Kendall Milton, running back, Georgia. Moving on to our next pick. We have linebacker on the board, J.D. Bertrand from Notre Dame. 6'1", 235. So bigger body or stouter body kind of guy. Kind of similar size to Bill Inspector. Fumbles forced 1, tackles 76. He grades out 69 in tackling, pass rush 82, run defense 79. Yeah, I like this right here. It's late, so take what you can get. Let's see what we got. I hope he's still there right there. And I'm on the clock. I'm taking another safety. Boom, Josh Proctor, Ohio State. I've been watching a little bit of his tape. I liked what I saw. Again, he's a 6th, 7th round pick, so if he doesn't make the team, he doesn't make the team, but we need to get younger and cheaper fast. Now left on the board, we have cornerback Elijah Jones. Now, cornerback is not really a position of concern, right? But this is the 7th round, so again, concern isn't really a thing you're addressing here. You're just taking the best players available. The Bills have Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford right now as starters. Tre'Davious White's coming back, also a starter, but you don't have enough starting slots for those guys. So someone's going to have to go, most likely, right? My bet is it's probably going to be Tre'Davious White, potentially getting traded somewhere. Hopefully somewhere like home, like to the Saints. I would love to see him go home and be able to, be around family, especially after all the injuries he's dealt with here. It'd be nice to see him get hurt, get to go home. I'm seeing the kicker thing. I will see if I can't find a kicker for us. No promises though, because I like Tyler Bass. He had one bad year, and everybody's already jumping on his ass. So I'm not that concerned about the kicker. We do need a tight end 3. There's a tight end right here. But back to the Tre'Davious White thing. You have Benford. You have Elam. You have Rasul Douglas. You have Tre'Davious White. Taron Johnson's a slot. Corner is a position we can use to draft a couple of guys. So Elijah Jones, let's look at his profile real quick. Let's say he went to Boston College, 6'2", 185. He's from Harlem, New York. He's tackling at 66, run defense 66, coverage in 87. This is exactly what Brandon Beane likes to do. Did you turn that down, man? I can't hear it.
How do you do that? It's a little.
So coverage right here, 87. Brandon Beane loves getting his coverage guys late. So I'm taking the second corner. We have 1 pick left. The Niners want to trade. If I'm looking for a kicker, I'm going to go ahead and accept it. And I'm rejecting all. We're going to kickers. I don't see kickers on here. Kickers aren't even a part of this draft. So I did that trade for nothing. And so I'm just going to take best thing that I think would help the team. I'm seeing a wide receiver here. Tavion Robinson, 5'10", 191 from the University of Kentucky. 41 receptions, 552 yards, 4 touchdowns. I just want to see how his hands look. 60. Ouch. Let's see. Offensive tackle. Let's see what this guy looks like. Garrett Greener from the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. No stats for him because he's a lineman. Pass blocking a 95, run blocking a 65. Woof. And I found my last pick of the draft. I think. Another pick too. Draft finished. What the heck is going on here? Yeah, there's no kickers in this draft, so let's see. Stop sharing for a second. Let's see what's going on with this. Wait. I'm going to pull it back up in just a minute. Yes, we only took one defensive lineman in this draft because I'm assuming that the Bills are going to be signing some guys. Yeah, there's not a ton of them in this draft. There's just not that many of them. So I took a defensive end and I took a defensive tackle. If they're not there to be had, I can't take them. That's the rules. Oh. My first pick was Troy Franklin, wide receiver out of Oregon, which is a very popular pick with the Bills fans, and that's what I took. Yeah, that browser window was just freezing up on me. Mock draft simulator. We're gonna do another one, but guys, I want your input now. This one's gonna be our draft. So share screen again. And we're gonna all right, here we go. It is back in there. We are going to go 7 rounds. We're going to warp speed this thing again, and I want your input. So for every pick that we're doing, I'm going to give about 30 seconds to see what you guys are saying. Trade up, trade back, or draft one of the guys that are on the list, okay? The defensive end was Kamara out of Colorado State. I couldn't see I can't see it now because the thing froze on me. Trade up to get Marvin Harrison. It's never gonna happen, man. I have to trade the whole draft. I had to Ricky Williams this thing to do that. It's not going down.
I like that Kamara pick though.
Yeah, I did too, but I took it. All right, so same type of draft. Entering the draft now, guys. The draft has not yet started. It's not yet begun. Okay. What in the world is going on here? Selecting the Bills. Warp speed. Enter draft. There we go. I don't like that. Okay. So we're at pick 28 now. We could make a trade now. We could trade up. We could trade back. What do you crazy people think? I saw some trade up to go get Marvin Harrison, and that's not going to happen. But we can definitely try to trade up to get a better wide receiver. If you guys want like a Brian Thomas or something like that, we could probably do that. Trade up. We got one trade up. Lou Rock. The engage warp drive. There we go. I like it. Do you think we get anything for Davis and Knox for picks? We might get something for like a compensatory pick for Gabe Davis because of his production, but it'll probably be like a 4th or 5th round compensatory pick. Dawson Knox, if we trade him, we may be able to get a compensatory, but I'm not sure exactly how that formula works, so I don't want to say something that isn't going to make any sense. I got trade up. I got trade back. I need some more input, guys. Lou Rock says trade up. John Herring says trade back. Let's get some input, guys. 30 seconds starting now. Trade up, trade back, stay where we're at. Draft hasn't started. Why trade if you don't know who's gone yet? I mean, that's fair, but sometimes you trade before the draft starts, especially if you're trying to trade a player away or something like that. Okay, here's what we'll do. I got you. We're going to remove the warp drive, and we're going to make this thing 25 seconds between picks. 25 seconds. It's going to make it a little longer, but, you know, we'll live. Now, let me see if I can pause the draft. Sure can. So, in this one, Marvin Harrison went number 1 overall to the Bears, which probably is not happening, but what do I care? So, we see what's going on. So, we're not getting a top 15 pick, so simulate to the top 15. Okay, simulate to 15. There it is. So, top 16 picks have been taken. Byron Murphy was the 16th overall pick. Graham Barton was the 15th. Johnny Newton, Cooper DeJean, Michael Penix Jr. went 12th to the Broncos. That makes sense. Jared Verse, defensive end, went to the Vikings. Roma Dunze went to the Jets. That would be terrifying. Jaden Daniels went to the Bears at 9. Whoa, okay. So they took Marvin Harrison and then took their chances at getting another quarterback. Okay, I like that, actually. I mean, that makes sense. Don't send a quarterback to a team with nothing to work with. All right. Dallas Turner. Olumuyiwa Fashanu, Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt to the Cardinals makes total sense. You want to protect Kyler Murray. He's little. If you got a small quarterback, you got to do something to help him out. Caleb Williams, though, to the Patriots. I don't see the Commanders passing up on him. Cliff Kingsbury went to Washington for a reason. And it's not Drake May. If it is, then I just don't know Cliff Kingsbury, but let's see. Trading up sounds like lunacy to me, but I digress. Hey, so check it out. You must be using talk to text because Luna's my dog's name. That dog can't see. She can see. She's fine. Where's she at? Not here. All right. So we are at 16. We'll go ahead and make this bigger. And available left, defensive line edge rusher, Leatu Lulu, J.C. Lathan, Nate Wiggins, Talise Fuaga, Quinyon Mitchell, Chop Robinson is here at 21. Brian Thomas Jr. is here. Amarius Mims. Are we moving on, or are we trying to jump up? The highest pick we would be able to draft or trade up to. So I think that we might be able to get up to 25 again if we try to trade up. Maybe 23, probably the highest we could get without, giving up potentially a first-round pick next year. Like giving up a second-round pick next year doesn't bother me too much. It's not really a round that Brandon is extra successful in historically. Usually third, fourth, fifth are nice little spots. That's his pocket. And Brian Thomas Jr. would be very intriguing at our pick However, he's likely not going to be there when we pick. We pick 28, and he is the 23rd ranked player there, wide receiver, and there's going to be a run. If you look at the draft tracker here, the Jaguars are coming up. They just lost Calvin Ridley. The Bengals just lost Tyler Boyd, but they brought T. Higgins back on the franchise tag. The Rams aren't picking up a receiver. They have Nakua and Cup, who's coming back healthy now. The Steelers could go after Brian Thomas Jr. because eventually they're going to have to pay, Deontay Johnson, right? I don't think they're going to do that. I wouldn't do that. He drops the ball too much. So there's a spot that he could go. Miami's going offensive lineman. The Eagles could go anything but wide receiver. They have A.J. Brown and they have Devontae Smith. The Texans could go wide receiver. They just lost Noah Brown. The Cowboys could if they drop Michael Gallup or if they lose Brandon Cooks because for some reason that guy gets traded a lot. Like that dude's been to more teams. Like if being in the NFL and having the goal to play in every single stadium as a member of every single team was a player, it'd be Brandon Cooks. He's the Ryan Fitzpatrick of wide receivers. And I don't know why he gets treated like that because he's an excellent wide receiver. But the Cowboys could be a spot that Thomas goes. The Packers could be a spot that Thomas goes. The Bucks just lost freaking Mike Evans. The Cardinals just lost freaking Marquise Hollywood Brown. They could double up at receiver. I would if I was them, but they looks like they took a tackle earlier. So they took a tackle. Yep, Joe Alt. They're going receiver. They're going receiver, most likely. That's just my opinion. So for me, if we're moving up, we're trying to get ahead of the Cardinals and ahead of the Buccaneers, and maybe ahead of the Cowboys. So 23 with the Texans, probably ahead of them too. The Eagles would be the target at 22. That's where we'd move up to. And so moving up is a difficult thing for me to do right now. What do you guys think? Let it run. We're not trading up. Okay. We're not trading up. Cool. Full screening. And we're getting to our pick. All right, we got trades. Pick 10 round 4. No, we're not moving that far back. Pick 27 in round 2. We're not moving that far back. Deontay Banks. No, thank you. Round 4. No, rejecting all these. Devondre Sweat was taken just ahead of us. So he's not an option. Let's see if our guy, Troy Franklin, went. Draft tracker. Leatu Latu, Telias Fuaga, Troy Franklin went 19th overall. Chop Robinson went 20th. J.C. Latham went. Nate Wiggins went. Brian Thomas Jr. went to the Texans. I freaking knew they were going to take him. Quinyon Mitchell is gone. Tyrion Arnold, Amarius Mims, and Devondre Sweat. So now available prospects are offensive tackle Troy Fautanu, offensive tackle Tyler Guyton, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jackson Powers Johnson, Bo Nix at quarterback, Ladd McConkey at wide receiver, and Adonai Mitchell, who is my favorite of the group right here is Adonai Mitchell. That's the guy who I would go with. Ran a 4.35 40 or 4.34 40. Catches everything thrown his way. A bit of a body catcher at times, but when he needs to use his hands, he's awesome. So Sweat's gone. This right here, Adonai Mitchell is my guy here. I want comments though to help me guide this. It's not my draft. I did mine already. I did it my way. Let's see what the chat says. I got Lou Rock or RQ. I'm just pronouncing it Rock because that makes sense to me. Roy Collins says Mitchell. So counting down from 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spin, I see you. But I think Leggett, after being a third round grade, is now a second round grade. I don't have him in the first round. I like his body size. I like his speed. But I like Mitchell here. And I got 3 guys who said Mitchell, and then 1 that says Leggett. We're going with Adonai Mitchell out of the University of Texas. Hook 'em horns. Let's go. I don't know what you did. All right. Draft tracker. Let's see. TJ Tampa went. Blake Fisher. We are on the clock. All right. So next guys left on the board are Malachi Corley, Ricky Pearsall, and Xavier Worthy. Xavier Leggett is here as well. There's a ton of. I'm looking at all our receivers. My bad. All right. So left on the board, defensive lineman Chris Jenkins from University of Michigan, looks like. Player profile on him is their website is clunky. I don't like it. Their website sucks, man. All right, guys, I'm going to a different website. We're doing it somewhere else. This is not it. It does not give me the freedom to change. I'm looking at it. There we go. Mock draft database. This is what I've used before. We're going Bills. 2024, 7 rounds. Select your preferred draft order. Yes, whatever. Speed, normal. What type of trading you want? Standard. In a draft room. All right, everybody see that? Dude, it was making me dizzy. I was trying to sit there and figure out what's going on with these, views, because I'm trying to go full screen and then go back down so that way I can make the adjustment. But yeah, we're starting over again. And we're going to go ahead and start this thing here. Where is the start button? Oh, there it is. I see it. Start button right there. Please show us a new kicker. You are really on that kicker thing. We don't even have to draft one. We can just sign one. All right, so we paused it after 10 picks. 12, 13, 14. Okay. Now those players available. Where the heck did they go? Oh, there you go. It's up here. Brock Bowers to Georgia. Okay, so I got to watch up here. And all right. We're going to go 5 picks. Turner, Wiggins, Latham, Fashanu, and Mitchell. Not the wide receiver. Cornerback Mitchell from Toledo. Let it run to 28. All right, we're running 28 like we did the last one. All right, we'll just do that. Oh, shoot. Different website, different rules, different BS. Boom. Running 28. Jayden Daniel. Oh, okay. All right, so on the board at 28, wide receivers, we've got Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell, Ladd McConkey, Xavier Worthy. Those are our top 4 guys. Suggestion is Troy Franklin by the website. I like him, obviously. We've already discussed that. Defensive line, Byron Murphy is somehow still on the board, along with T'Vondre Sweat. Both are here. Thank you very much, Sandra. Chris Jenkins is also here, defensive tackle. Edge rusher, Demion Robinson from Penn State. I'm guessing that's Chop. Is still on the board. And at safety, Tyler Nubin, Cameron Kitchens, Javon Bullard, Kalen Bullock. See how they're 41, 48, 58, 69? I like the guy right here, 69. Let's go. Kalen Bullock out of USC. He's a guy that I really like. But I wouldn't take him here. So my suggestion would be Troy Franklin or Chop Robinson. Or Murphy. I wouldn't take Sweat right now. It's too early for Sweat. I'll be right back and need some more tissue. You guys discuss in the comments. All right, I'm back. And just so we're clear, the best position or best player available at a position of need is Byron Murphy out of Texas. Right? That's clear cut. Best player available for us is Byron Murphy at a position of need. We only have one defensive tackle on the roster at the moment. That's Ed Oliver. Byron Murphy is 310 pounds. Had a nice little combine. He had a great career at Texas, right next to T'Vondre Sweat. He probably can play one tech if you needed him to. He's not a big fat guy to play nose tackle like a T'Vondre Sweat could. Like T'Vondre Sweat could be the Vince Wilfork of a team because he's that size, right? We don't have a nose tackle on this team. No, we have a 1 tech and a 3 tech, whereas those guys would be nose tackles. So T'Vondre Sweat could be a one tech. If he played in our defense, he would be the 1 tech. But I need to know what you guys are saying here. I would take Sweat or Murphy. I wouldn't take Sweat. I would take Murphy. This one says McConkey or Murphy, or McConkey for me, or Sweat. I wouldn't take Sweat right now. It's way too early for Sweat. He's 43rd ranked player. I have the 19th ranked player, same position, same team. Murphy is the best player right here. He says I would take Sweat over Murphy. Murphy is the better player, but Sweat helps out our team more. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if Byron Murphy or if T'Vondre Sweat helps out more. I mean, again, T'Vondre Sweat is a 1 tech / nose tackle. I think Byron Murphy could play 1 tech. He's only like 5 pounds lighter than Daquan Jones. Daquan Jones is like 315. He's 310. So Troy Franklin. Okay, wide clear. So Troy Franklin. I need some more guys. But I'm not overdrafting. That's my one rule. You guys are going to have me overdraft anybody. Murphy is really tempting. I need to know who you guys would pick right now. Troy Franklin or Byron Murphy. I'm leaning Murphy because if Franklin's still here, Mitchell's still here, McConkey's still here, Worthy's still here, Polk's still here. Leggett is there in the second round, most likely. .310 is pretty beefy, man. That's not a small defensive tackle. That's still a big guy. Let me look something up real quick. Let me see. Yeah, he's the same size as Chris Jones. It's not a small defensive tackle. It's a big guy. Trade up for Sweat in round 2. Okay, we could look at that too. Matter of fact, we can look at that now. We can try it. We can look at trading up for Sweat. There's no guarantee he's going to be there because look at who's still here now, which means that guys who weren't supposed to be there or were supposed to be here aren't here because guys who aren't supposed to be here are. See, trade up for Sweat in round 2. Limbacker's clean. I get that. I get want to keep our guys clean, but 310's a big boy. Those boys in Kansas City, Drew Tranquil, pretty clean this year. Leo Chenal, pretty clean this year for those guys. What's his name? No, 32 for the Chiefs. Bolton, there you go. Kept pretty clean this year. 1 or 2 of those guys got hurt this year, but that's because they were hitting the wrong person. Okay, I'm trade down. Okay, I trade down works as well. Let's see what we got. Trade. All right, so trade. Let's say we move back to 35. I want to move up in the second. So let's see what everybody's got. Nope. What's more? 30 and 62. Nope. Carolina 33 and 65. Nope. Chicago, they got a lot of picks. Not in the second, they don't. Cincinnati 49 and 8 now. Looking for the right team with the right stuff. I'm going a little fast. I would go with wide receiver. Okay. I'm looking there. I'm just looking for trade downs in case we find one. We'll see. Nope. Denver probably ain't got nothing, and they don't. Detroit, nope. They're like 1 pick behind us in both rounds. Green Bay, 41 and 58. Ooh. I like that. Okay, Green Bay is an option. Houston, 59-86. Nope. Indy, 46-82. Nope. Jacksonville, 48-96. No. KC, I don't even want to think about it, but the heck with it. 32 and 64. No. No. 37 and 69. No. Miami. Yeah, they don't have a third. Minnesota. 3 a.m. show. You bugging, bro. Indianapolis, 42-80. Damn, Jesus. Actually, I looked at some of these teams already. Rams, Miami, Minnesota. No. New England. No. Looking for a team that has like multiple second-round picks. Some of these teams don't have any, so they got to be, pardon my friend, they got to be freaking somewhere. 44 and 77. No.
What does that mean, 44-77?
Pick 44 and 77 overall in the draft.
Oh, shit.
New England, New Orleans. No. Who has all the second round picks? Jets. No. Giants. Oh, there we go. 39 and 47. We give them 28 and 60. And to move up to 128, though, you guys will give me some extra. Too much? Okay, nope. I will back off that one, Giants, but we'll be back. Don't worry. I like those 2 picks. And then 108. Boom. All right, so we move back from 28 to 39, and we went from 60 to 47. What do you guys think? We also pick up an extra 4th round pick, which is Brandon Bean's sweet spot. So help me help us. I think I'm finally sick. I think last time I've been sick, I was around 2016. Okay. I need some input, guys. I need help here. You guys are supposed to have my back. Come on. Ugh. Looking for a small trade down that gets us additional 3rd round pick would be perfect. So this one gets us 2 seconds instead of a 1st and a 2nd, and then we get an additional 4th. We're not going to get. I have to find the 2nd round picks. I mean, granted, a lot of the other teams didn't have them, so let's see. We'll keep going on the list. Philadelphia has 50 and 53 and 97. So if we get second round, boom. So we give up 28 and 60. We get 50 and 53 and 97 and 170. That's what Philly. So we get 2 seconds and a third for our first and second. So that's Philly. Please ignore the phone, guys. Hang it up. Steelers, no. San Fran, they've got no. Actually, no. Like the Giants trade better, all the wide receivers will be gone by 50. I agree there. Seattle, they have no second round picks. Pittsburgh, nope. Tampa, no. Tennessee, absolutely not. And Washington, they have 2 second round picks, 36 and 40. If I pitch them that one, and an additional third someone wanted, boom, too much. Okay, so we'll go 101 and we'll give you 159. Nope. 28, 60, and 129. That's not much. There we go. So we give him 28, 60. We get back 36 and 40. We give up 99 to move back to 101. So move back 2 spots there. And then we give them 198. We get 138. So I'm actually liking this right here because we move back 8 spots from our first round pick. Then we move up 20 spots from our second round pick. Move back 2 spots in the third round. And then move up an entire round from the 6th to the 5th. So let me know, guys. You guys like this trade right here? This one right here, I think I found it. And it's the last team that it could possibly be because it's the end. I'm seeing send it. I need a couple more send it's than just one. Give me more than just one, baby. And I'm going to mute. All right, I got 2 send it's. Sending it in 15 seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Traded. All right. Left on the board. None of those guys. We've got McConkey. We've got Worthy. We've got Jalen Polk. We've got Xavier Legette. This is at wide receiver, though. My bad. All positions. Bo Nix is there, if you want that. Darius Robinson's there. I like him, defensive end. Braylon Trice, defensive end from Washington, is still there. Michael Penix Jr., if you want a quarterback. And then Ladd McConkey is there. So we are at pick 36. And so I'm looking at Robinson, Trice, and McConkey. Those are the guys that I like here. What do you guys think? Guys saying Legette. T'Vondre Sweat's still there. Legette is far down the list, guys. Like he's way down there. Look, watch. Look at Legette. He's 55. We can get him at our next pick at 40. T'Vondre Sweat might not be there. Sweat is available. If it's me, I go Sweat, and then I go Xavier Legette. So I go here, T'Vondre Sweat, and then I go wide receiver, Xavier Legette, Sweat and Legette. Okay, let's do it the smart way then. We're gonna go with T'Vondre Sweat. Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. New York Jets. And then we're going wide receiver. Xavier Worthy's there. and you guys want Xavier Legette. All right. So we got Sweat. We got Legette.
Sweat and Legette.
Yeah. Let's get sweaty. Let's get sweaty. Let's not. That's nasty. Let's see everybody who's on the board. Javon Bullard's on the board. I like him. He's going to be gone, though. Yep, gone. Blake Horn, running back. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., linebacker. Ricky Pearsall still there. So we're being offered to move back 5 more spots and then giving a 7th round pick. Or we can move back 15 spots, get a 5th and a 7th. You really got to stop using that voice to text, man. D-Cake Metcalf? That's how I knew using voice to text. Jets, we ain't doing nothing with y'all, man. Patriots wanted to move up 3 spots. No. We're only doing stuff for this year, baby boy. So the Chargers one looks pretty smooth. It's moving back 5 spots. But I don't think we're doing that. We're going to close this out. Boom. On the board right now. We said send it. Let's see. Trade. And we got plenty on the board right now. So it was the Chargers, LAC. Boom. Boom. And you give us right there. Countered that offer. Trade back 5 spots. And we're done trading back for now. All right. So at 106, safeties we have on the board, Cole Bishop, Bo Braid. I like Cole Bishop from Utah. Very solid safety. James Williams from the University of Miami. I also like him, but we'd be overdrafting at this point. If we go defensive edge rusher, Brandon Dorless is still here from Oregon. I like him. So we already got T'Vondre Sweat. Are we talking about defensive end? Is that what we're talking about? Because if we are, we got a couple of guys here. Gabriel Murphy from UCLA and Brandon Dorless from Oregon are on the board. We go safety. Cole Bishop from Utah is on the board. I like Cole Bishop from Utah here. He's not my favorite guy. Caleb from USC was, but he's not here anymore. So what are we thinking? Bishop all day. All right. I need 2 more Bishops or 15 seconds, and then I'm just picking them. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. I cannot, Roy. Can't see player previews. See another Bishop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cole Bishop it is. That was an A+ graded pick right there. Woo. And we traded back again. We are stacking up the picks, baby. Yeah, we're not doing that. Going from 4th to 7th, and then nope. Nope. And nope. 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 Okay. All those were bullshit trades. All right, let's see what we got. So we have our wide receiver. We have our defensive tackle. We have our safety. We need a defensive end. And then the world's our oyster after that. So we're going to go to defensive end and see who's there still. Javon Solomon from Troy, edge rusher. If I remember correctly, he's a big boy. I'll pull up the other website just so I can have his information. Javon Solomon. I'll read it to you guys. Javon Solomon. 6'1", 246 from Troy, originally from Tallahassee, Florida. He had 16 sacks this year, 3 forced fumbles, 55 tackles, 26 solo tackles. His grades are as such: tackling a 74, pass rush an 88, run defender 77, and coverage is 68. I like that pick right there. I like Javon Solomon. We'll look at the other players too. But if we're going to double dip, I'd wait to double dip a little later. Also, linebacker Cedric Gray is available from North Carolina, but I think this is a little early for us to draft a linebacker. I could be wrong, but he is one of the top 3 players left on the board right now, behind Will Shipley. Wide receiver Johnny Wilson still here. Running back Jalen Wright. Defensive lineman Tyler Davis. That's the exact same size as Von Miller. Roughly. Von Miller's like 250. So I'll look that up. Von Miller is 6'3", 250. Very comparable. He's a little shorter and more compact, but that's about it. Yeah, it's about Von Miller size. So you get a Von Miller sized edge from Troy at 116 or at 129. He's ranked 116 in the draft. You could look to double up at safety if you want, but I don't think I would do that right now. Doubling at wide receiver, I don't feel too comfortable with that at this moment. Defensive tackle, Tyler Davis is still around. Gabe Hall, but I'm feeling better about the edge rusher. Come on, guys. Need your assistance here. Come on. He is my favorite guy right now. So Javon Holland I'm going with in 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. So it's not too late to go tackle depth. Christian Jones from Texas is available. Let me go ahead and pull up his information real quick. Do you know if he's the right tackle or left tackle?
Right tackle.
So he's a right tackle from Texas right here. We do have Ryan Vandermark, but he's the only other tackle that we really have. Tommy Doyle's probably going to be gone. So it's a tackle or edge rusher. I personally think the edge rusher is more of a priority because we have 3 tackles on the roster as of right now with Deion Dawkins. He has an excellent college production. Are you talking about the tackle from Texas, Christian Jones, or are you talking about Javon Solomon? Because now we have a little bit of a debate right here in the 4th round with Javon Solomon and Christian Jones. There's not really any other players at any of the positions that were being suggested here. Everything else other than Kalen King from Penn State, which is outstanding corner, but I think our corner room is already crowded enough right now until later rounds. So for me, it's the edge or it's the tackle, guys. Come on, help me out. Edge or tackle? For me, it's still the edge, but we also have a pick again. Rusher is more of the edge rusher. Okay. Edge is more important. Definitely will get playing time over. Okay, there we go. So edge rusher. Boom. Buffalo needs a new kicker. Man, you were on that kicker for real. Nope, we're not doing that. Nope, we're not doing none of that. I like our spot right here. Because if we can get Christian Jones at 138, we can. He's still here. The tackle's still here. We can still get the tackle. We got the edge rusher, and Christian Jones' tackle is still there. It was a debate the last pick. We're not waiting on this one. We're just going to go ahead and take him. Boom. This is taking a long time. I've been on here for an hour, 45 minutes. I'm off tomorrow, so I don't care, but, boom. So these guys are offering us nothing this year. Yeah. A 6th and a 7th for our 5th here. Move from 159. Yeah. 6. No. I think we'll offer our own trades. Thank you. Okay, so here is a crazy thought. How about a backup quarterback? That's not a crazy thought. That's a brilliant thought. It's not a crazy thought at all because I want to draft a quarterback that can sit behind Josh Allen for 4 years and have a consistent backup instead of going freaking Mitchell Trubisky and then going Case Keenum and then going Kyle Allen. I want to get a guy who can get in here, learn the system, and then know the system for 4 straight years. So if something does happen to Josh, where he has to miss 5 to 6 weeks or even half a season and come back during the playoffs, but you have a guy who can hold down the freaking fort. That's not crazy. That's brilliant. So Jordan Travis is sitting here on the board, staring me in the face. I have a 3rd round grade on the kid if he didn't get hurt. If he didn't get hurt, he's a 3rd round pick, maybe a 2nd, especially if the run on quarterbacks happens like we anticipate it might. This year, you're going to have 3 guys going to top 5 at quarterback. You're going to have Williams come off the board. You're going to have Drake May come off the board. You're going to have Jaden Daniels come off the board. Then potentially J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix Jr., and Bo Nix, all within the first 35 picks of this draft. If this guy was healthy, he's in that next tier of quarterback. And he's potentially a better pro than some of those guys. Jordan Travis. I'm seeing it right there. Jordan Travis. Are we going to take a shot? Are we going to take a shot at a backup quarterback this draft? I love it. That's what we're looking at right now. Jordan Travis and Joe Milton are the 2 guys here. Joe Milton is a mover, and he's got a cannon of an arm like Josh Allen. So if you're looking for a similar skill set to Josh Allen physically, it's Joe Milton. Jordan Travis is coming off of a catastrophic injury, so if it's not him, I would wait till our next pick to go backup quarterback. I wouldn't do it here. I'd wait till 159 and then take Joe Milton there. Jordan Milton, but he's very raw, big arm though. Yeah, so was Josh Allen when we drafted him. Remember that. He was very raw, big arm. So you'd be drafting a similar type player to Josh Allen, only you'd be doing it with Josh Allen on the roster. So you'd not be looking to start this guy. You'd be looking to have him as a backup, which is fine. But it's looking like this round is not the round to do it. Let's look at all the players available. Javon Baker, wide receiver from UCF, is still there. I really like him. I really, really like him. Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker from Ohio State, is there. I like him too. James Williams from Miami. I also like him. I wouldn't be mad at double dipping at safety, especially since he's from University of Miami and we just hired their coach, their defensive backs coach to come here and be defensive backs coach for us. So if you got a guy he's familiar with, I'm cool with that. Tight end Theo Johnson. We need a tight end 3 unless we're bringing back Q Morris. Also a player who I've liked. I've been hot and cold on this guy. Malik Washington, wide receiver from Virginia, more of a slot guy. I'm perfectly fine with taking Baker. He said you yelled Baker. What do you see? Javon Baker. Roy is in on Baker. And I got double dip wide receiver. Take Baker. I'm taking Javon Baker. Boom. Done. I saw enough wide receiver chatter in there. This is a good trade. So we move back 5 picks from 162 to 167. Get 174 and 201. But I think they're going for the quarterback. Let me see who's there at quarterback. We can make our own trade back. Now we know what's available. Jordan Travis and Joe Milton are still there. If we move back 5 picks, do we think we're getting a quarterback? That's the question. So I'll put that trade back up. Trade. Or offers. Right here. Boom. Move back 5 picks. Get another pick within 7 picks of that pick. And then an additional 6th rounder. What do you guys say? I don't know how he was still on the board, but I also don't know how Murphy was on the board at freaking 28 when we got him. Take the QB now. We have enough picks. How many more picks do we have left? Let me see how many picks we have left. Trade. We have 162, 183. Yeah, we have a lot of picks. Okay. Take the quarterback now. Is it Joe Milton or is it Jordan Travis? That's the question. That's why I even contemplated that trade, because Joe Milton's ranked at 178. The trade would have only moved us back 5 picks. And then we can stack the rest of the roster. Because remember, we have to get younger and cheaper very fast in order to be able to get rid of this dead cap money that's coming up in the next couple of years. But if it's a quarterback, just tell me Milton or Travis. I like Travis's potential, but I don't like the injury. I like Milton's potential, but he's super freaking raw. Come on, guys. I got 20 of y'all in here. Let's do this. Come on. Come on. All right. I only got one take the QB now. It's me versus you. I'm looking at that trade. So that would be too many picks to make the roster, but you're looking also at the practice squad, right? There's going to be a lot of guys that get let go. Tommy Doyle's probably out of here. I would take Baker because I already took Baker, man. You're late. Baker's already with us right here. Number 159, we took him. We are now at 3 picks later at 162. So he's already gone. We already got Javon Baker. You got to come to live, homie. You must be behind. Take Joe Milton. Okay, Joe Milton. Joe Milton going in. Hang on. I was saying something before I saw that comment. So the Bills again have to get younger and cheaper, right? So a lot of guys who have contracts that we can get out of, they're going to be let go in order to remove dead cap hits later on in the future and to rebuild and return this team out. Also fill the practice squad. Also, the more players you have, the more you can determine, hey, this guy's not going to make it, that guy is going to make it. You're taking a lot more shots. And it's only going to cost you 5 picks or 5 slots in the 5th round. Yeah, 5th round. That's why I'm even contemplating it. Roy, I have to go against you on this one. I'm taking the trade. And I'm going Milton next pick. Nope. Boom. And I still got Milton. Bam. Now, interior offensive lineman. Interior O-line. Bro, you know I love you, man. But I had to do that, man. I got to take more shots at the roster. Because if the more people you can get on the team and in the building, the more evaluation you can do, and then you have more options. You don't have to sit there and wonder, am I getting somebody from the team? So I had to do it. I had to. But look, we have interior offensive line. Mitch Morse is old as hell. Running back. We haven't taken one this draft yet. It's the 5th round. Quarterback, Jalen Simpson. Safety, Tyke Smith. We're talking about doubling up at safety. We can do that now. Linebacker, Tyron Hopper from Missouri. And then we have cornerback, Johnny Dixon from Penn State. These are all suggested players for us. We have 5 guys here that are all guys we can take. I see linebacker. Take the trade down and then the go QB. I already did that, man. I'm seeing linebacker. So you're thinking Tyron Hopper from Mizzou. And let me look at his I'm going to pull up his information. Let's see. He is 6'2", 231. He is 53% on tackling. That's not very good. Pass rush 76%, run defense 69, coverage 57. I don't think he's going to be a fit in this defense. Big boy running back, maybe. Okay, let's see if this is a big boy. Tyrone Tracy Jr. from Purdue. You know about this guy, Jesse?
No, I never heard about. I don't really watch Purdue.
Fair enough. You will when you're in the SEC. All right, so he's 5'11", 209 pounds. Caught 19 passes. Is he just a receiving back? Like, what the heck? Says running back, but all his numbers here look like, or did he get hurt this year?
Yeah, it says running back.
Here it says wide receiver, but then this is all defensive stuff.
He might have changed position.
Aha. Okay. He's not a big boy running back anyway. So next, corner, safety, inside lineman. So it's looking like the interior offensive lineman from Wisconsin is going to be it, or the safety, Tyke Smith from Georgia is going to be it. One of those two guys is going to be it. So help me out here, guys. Safety or interior offensive line. We could also go corner. Take the future center. Okay. So we're drafting Tanner Bartolini, and we look up his information real quick. Just give you guys a scoop before we make an uninformed decision, even though it's a mock draft and who cares, but pass blocking rating, 82%, run blocking, 65%. Screams Mitch Morse to me, taking the center. Here we go. Got him. Yeah, we're rejecting. Boom. Still on the board. Sixth round, pick number 183. Cornerback Jalen Simpson from Auburn is here. Linebacker Tyron Hopper is still here. Johnny Dixon, cornerback Nehemiah Pritchett, and linebacker Jalen Ford from Texas, who I do like, is on the board. Let me look him up real quick and just make sure he's not a tackle misser.
No, hell no, he ain't. And he's a big boy linebacker.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Holy shoot. 6'2", 240 pounds from the University of Texas, hometown of Frisco, Texas. He is a senior. 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 101 tackles, 47 solo tackles. Tackling 76%, pass rush 69%, run defense 88%, and coverage 60%. That's the linebacker we take. That's the guy if we take a linebacker. We have 5 more picks. 183, 201, 202, 206, and 246. So that we have 5 more picks left, Roy. Jalen Ford plays special teams. I think he does, but I bet you he will.
Well, he's gonna be a starter at some point. He's
the
guy's a heat-seeking missile. Like
he's apparently like a bigger Matt Milano.
He just lacks experience, but
my boy's also a Texas guy. But I like the Jalen Ford linebacker. There's a punter here if you guys want to try that. I know that one guy keeps talking about a kicker. Kickers. Joshua Carty is here. He's not ranked high enough. For me, it's the linebacker or the safety. Tyke Smith or Jalen Ford. Those take a fly around forward. All right. Taking forward. Boom. We got an A+ for that pick, by the way. Now moving to our pick at 201. We're looking for a trade back. Screw it. Boom. We back to 5 picks, guys. Let's do it. All right. So, all joking aside, interior offensive line, we have Mitch Morse. We have the Bama kicker has the SEC points record. If that means anything, it does mean something because they score touchdowns. So, Joshua Carty, Harrison Nevis, Cameron Little, I'm not seeing the Bama kicker here, so he either already went or here there he is. Will Reichard. Record. He's there, but we can get him at the last pick of the draft. So, Matt. Yep. Well, our last pick of the draft. Running back. So Jawar Jordan and Isaiah Davis are sitting here from Louisville. Jawar Jordan absolutely destroyed. Who was it? Notre Dame. He's on the same team with Mr. Guerrero, who ran the fastest running back time in the draft this year at freaking 6'2", 225 pounds. But this guy here had his days. He is 5'10", 193, so basically the size of James Cook. He's from Long Island, New York, went to Louisville. He had 1,128 yards, 13 touchdowns, 21 receptions, 246 receiving yards. He'd basically be replacing a guy or drafting a guy who would be James Cook in 2 years. Like, once, because the Bills aren't going to re-sign James Cook. No offense to James Cook. That's just not our shtick. Like, we draft you, we run you for 4 years, and then we drop you. And that's just how it is. So you'd be basically replacing Nyheim Hines, who we just released, with this guy to basically come in and be a kick returner / backup running back to James Cook in certain downs. I like this guy, but I'm seeing no Jordan in the comments. Let's see, Gore looks great. Frank Gore Jr., he's there. He's small too, though. Let's see what he's about. He went to Southern Miss. Okay. Certainly didn't go to the big school his father did. Frank Gore Jr., 5'8", 201 pounds, screams Devin Singletary to me. 1,131 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 27 receptions, 221 yards. Rushing, 82%, breaking tackles, 71. Hands, 60%, pass blocking, 66. So apparently he's good at, blocking for the quarterback, being a good backfield blocker. Frank Gore Jr., I like him. I wouldn't be mad. I'm seeing Lance and Oliver in my junk here saying, go Frank Gore. So now that we have the information on Frank Gore, I actually do like him a little bit more than I like Jawar Jordan, but I do like the production Jawar Jordan had against top-notch competition. And then there's the last guy here, Isaiah Davis. Let's just look at him and see what he's all about. He went to South Dakota State. I know people look down at those smaller schools, but I don't. Isaiah Davis, he is a big boy. So if you want a big running back, that's him. 6 foot, 218 pounds, 1,578 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6.7 yards per carry, 23 receptions for 199 yards. His rushing percentage is 98%. That's his grade, is at 98. Breaking tackles, 87%. Receiving hands, 65%. Pass blocking, 55%. And run blocking, 67%. I like him. I like him. Isaiah Davis is a big dude. And we need big running backs. We haven't drafted one this draft yet, I don't think. T'Vondre Sweat, Xavier Legette. Yeah, this will be the first running back we take. I think it needs to be a big boy. I see. Give me Frank Gore Jr. Okay. I'm going to go grab another tissue. It's between Frank Gore Jr. and Isaiah Davis. Whoever wins in the comments, that's who I'm picking. A few seconds, guys. All right, I went blue the nose and everything. Came back, seeing Gore, Davis. Okay, it's the same person. So You know what? I think I'm getting them both. I'm going to take Davis. Reject. 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 Frank Gore. Got them both.
Ooh.
Reject. Reject. Got them both.
Nice.
So, got 2 running backs. A small guy to be behind James Cook as the same type of back, and a big boy to come in when daddy needs to do work. That's where we're at right now. We now have 3 more picks, 206, 243, and 246. I already got both, John Herring. Come on now. You're behind, man. You got to move that timeline up. So 206. We're not getting away from running backs. We double dipped on them 2 in a row. Let's see what we got here. Edge rusher, Nelson Caesar. Edge rusher, Brennan Jackson from Washington State. Caesar's from Houston. Edge rusher, Jalix Hunt from Houston Baptist. Linebacker, Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State. Edge rusher, Zion Tupualo Fetui from Washington. Safety, Malik Mustafa, who I really like a lot. I like what I saw from him at the combine, and I also like what I saw from him on tape. He looks like a good. I see him all the time here on TV because I'm in North Carolina. Wake Forest is like an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes from here, so it's not far. Raleigh's hour and 15 minutes from here. Offensive tackle Garrett Greenfield. We did not draft. Yes, we did. We drafted an offensive tackle and an interior offensive lineman. Linebacker here I like Marist Louis Fau, and then edge rusher Xavier Thomas from Clemson. Kingsley Eguakone from Florida. I'm not seeing any defensive tackles. I'm seeing a tight end here, AJ Barner from Michigan. What we got, guys? What we got? I got 18 of you guys. 18 of you guys still in here. I'm liking the safety. I'm seeing D-line and safety from Roy Collins. Let's see, Nelson Caesar from University of Houston, because we could use another 3-tech. If we bring back Daquan Jones and we draft Devondre Sweat like we did here, we need another guy behind Ed Oliver, right? Because we don't have a guy behind him either. So everybody, giving me guff. Boom. Nelson Caesar, 254. He'd be an edge rusher. That would mean that we'd have Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, Kingsley Jonathan, Javon Solomon, and then if we drafted Nelson Caesar, he'd be the same type of guy, edge rusher. We have Brennan Jackson. Let's see what he's about. I'm guessing he's probably similar. So he's a bigger boy. He is 6'4", 264, 8.5 sacks this year for Washington State. As a tackler, he's 60%, but his pass rush is 76. His run defense is 77. That, to me, kind of says a little bit of a AJ Epinesa type, but not quite as tall. Then we have Jalix Hunt from Houston Baptiste. I have not heard of this school before, but again, I don't look down on small schools. If you can play, you can play. That's just the way it is. Freaking greatest wide receiver of all time went to Mississippi Valley State. Jalix Hunt, 6'4", 252. 1 interception, 41 tackles, 17 solo tackles. It doesn't say anything about sacks, which is what worries me. Safety / edge. That doesn't make any sense.
What the? What?
Yeah, okay. We're passing him up. Let's see. Zion. Copy. Go Mustafa. He's good. Okay, I like Mustafa. I'm just looking at this last edge rusher here. Then I know for sure that Mustafa's the guy. Mustafa. Ooh. So this guy, Tahuola Fetui 6'3", 244 from Washington, originally from Pearl City, Hawaii. He wouldn't like Buffalo. Pass rush 70%, tackling 66%, run defense 65%. Yep, taking Mustafa. Malik Mustafa, welcome to Buffalo. We have 2 more picks. I see punter, and I know that guy's been begging for a kicker, so now I can draft one of each if need be. Punter. Up to it, and we've got Josh Carty, Harrison Mevis, and Cameron Little. Will Reichert. So that's the one that I was being told about. We can get him undrafted, looks like, though. Don't need a kicker. Thank you, Roy. Hunter. Austin McNamara. We have 2 more picks. 243 and 246. Not really much of a difference. Texas Tech. How was the punter at Texas? Sanborn.
How's the what?
Hunter.
Eh.
Okay. At least you're honest there.
He's not that good.
Okay.
But
We'll
we've also been pretty lucky having Michael Dickerson, and then his cousin.
All right, so took punter Austin McNamara from Texas Tech, and now we have the last pick available last pick in the draft. Linebacker Tyrese Knight from UTEP. I wouldn't mind taking another linebacker. That would put us at 6 if we draft another one. Milano, Bernard, Spector, Williams. Drafted Ford. Then you draft one more linebacker. That gives you 6, which is what the Bills like to carry anyway. And if this guy doesn't work out, he's our last pick in the draft. You just move to the practice squad. Also, interior offensive line. Ryan Bates, we have an out in his contract. He could be gone. Also, your center, Mitch Morse, he could be gone. Most likely it's going to be Mitch Morse because Ryan Bates doesn't save us as much as Mitch Morse does. You draft 2 interior offensive linemen, one to replace the backup guard, one to replace the backup center. Bam, good to go. Because even if you cut Mitch Morse and you move Ryan Bates to center, you now don't have a backup guard because your backup guard now is your center, and you don't have a backup center because your former backup center, who was also your backup guard, is now your current starting center. So there's that. All right, so the Bills can get their new starting kicker in free agency. They will not be in the draft.
Yeah.
Will not be in the draft.
Other Bass isn't bad, really.
Okay, Roy, so let's say that we cut Ryan Bates because he saves us, I think it's $4.5 million, right? So we cap cuts are coming, right? Naeem Hines just got cut. They're coming. Mitch Morse saves us almost $9 million in cap cuts. So if you cut Mitch Morse or Ryan Bates, you're still losing something and at least be replaced. I'm just sliding Bates in at Morse's spot just purely because he's the guy on the roster who would slide to a spot if he got hurt, right? So you cut Morse, bam, Bates slides in. You now have backup tackles along with your starters, but then you have no backup interior offensive lineman. We only drafted 1. Younger, cheaper. Remember that. Let's say we cut Ryan Bates and we keep Mitch Morse. We still have no backup interior offensive lineman. I think we draft 2. So I'm taking the interior offensive lineman from LSU, Charles Turner III. Welcome to Buffalo. And that is our draft. It's a crazy one because we did a ton of trading. Like a lot. Oh, I'm not high on him as full-time center. I'm just saying he would be the guy you slide in there if you didn't have Morse. Like if on the roster right now, if you cut Mitch Morse, bam, the guy who slides into that spot is Ryan Bates. There's no question about that. That's just how the roster is going to work. You slide the next man up, and Ryan Bates is the next man up. I'm not saying I'm high on him. I'm just saying he's that next guy. What do? You draft 2 guys and give 2 other guys the opportunity to unass him from that spot. That's where I stand on that. Let's say both those guys end up playing better than Ryan Bates. You can then cut Ryan Bates, save that $4.5 million, and then have another guy who can back up anybody on the interior of the offensive line. Or maybe you pick somebody else up on the cheap. Let's say you trade Ryan Bates. There are different options here. So that's where I'm at with that. Save. We'll save this draft. Control C. All right, guys. Control V. The website's acting funny, but I got to copy the link. And we drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players in this draft. That's nuts. That's freaking crazy. I might even go back and put this in the description, guys, but I digress. 14 players in the draft. You know, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. That's what we did. And yeah, I'm actually kind of proud of that. So go Bills, guys. This show is over. It's been a pleasure to have all you guys on for this long. I still got 16 of you guys on YouTube by itself. So, guys, be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we out of here. Take care of yourselves. Go Bills.